Good morning. Today we are making the video for our packet number 10. It is due on April 15th, which is next week, Tuesday. So our first page, and I'm having to do it with the document camera because we're having issues scanning with our copiers right now. So we're just improvising. So, first page, a machine at a local factory has 3 gears. One gear must be replaced every 3 months, another every 5 months, and the third every 6 months. All of the gears were just replaced in September of 2016. In what month and year will all 3 gears need to be replaced at the same time again? So what you can do for this one is we are going to map out, let's see if my writing is going to show up. Oh, yeah. Okay, so improvising a little bit more because that is not working for me. Let's see. We're going to do this instead, and I am going to work from here. All right. So what we want to do is write out the years and then the months. So we're starting in 2016 in September. And then we have October, November, December. Then I switch to the year 2017 with January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I don't know how much farther I need to go, but we're going to do our skip counting. So the first one I'm going to circle. Every 3 months I'm going to put a circle. So for every 5 months I'm going to do an underline, and every 6 months I'm going to do an X. We know that they were all changed in September. So now my circles I'm going to do every 3 months. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. My 5s I'm going to put a line under every 5 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my X's I'm going to do every 6 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have to go into 2018 because so far I don't have all 3 of them under the same month. So I'm going to keep doing my patterns until I get to a year and a month where all 3 are under the same month. So that's going to tell me what month and what year. So just keep on doing those patterns. You're going to have to do multiple years to see when they're all going to be replaced at the same time again. Our next page says Keith baked muffins and gave 3/4 of them to Peter. Peter then gave away a dozen of the muffins, and Peter ended up with 6 muffins. How many muffins did Keith bake? So I like to do my bar models. We have the whole bar would be what Keith baked. He gave 3/4 of them to Peter, so I'm going to break it into my 4s. And I know that 3/4 of them goes to Peter. Now Peter gave away a dozen, and he ended up with 6 left over. So that was 18. So Peter has 18 muffins. If I divide that up into my 3 even groups that Peter had, I need to see how many would be in each of those even groups, and then know that this last section is going to be that same amount. And then you add them all up to see how many Keith made all together. And so you need to break it up into the 3 groups, and then know that that 4th section is the same amount as each of those individual groups. Then we add them together to know the total amount. 5 card challenge, we know how to do that. our pattern. Now this pattern page is a little bit more confusing. It says for the 7th figure of the pattern, so we need to go to the 7th figure, how many blocks will be in the outermost layer and what color will that layer be? So in order to figure that out, we need to fill in our table all the way to the 7th figure. So let's fill in what we know, because we know 1, 2, 3, 4. We know the 5 figures that are pictured. So our first figure has 1 yellow and then zeros. So there's a total of 1 altogether. Our second figure has 1 yellow and it has 8 pinks. No blues, no reds. So that pink is that innermost color. So we have 9 total. Then we have 1 yellow, 8 pinks, and 16 blues. Still no reds yet. That gives us a total of 25. Then in our fourth figure, we have 1 yellow, 8 pink, 16 blues, and 24 reds. That gives us a total of 49. Here we have that 1 yellow plus all the yellows on the outermost. That gives us 33. We still have 8 pink, 16 blue, 24 red. Add them all up and we get 81 total. Now we can start seeing patterns. We can see that we go every 4 before we add on that next layer of that color and it jumps up. So if I know there were 4 1s, I know there's going to be 4 33s. Here I know there were 4 8s. I don't know what comes after that 8 yet, so I can't go on for that. But this one, I know there should be 4 16s. This one, there should be 4 24s. So I can fill in what I know from my pattern. Now I'm going to look at my totals and see if I can find a pattern there. I spy my favorite kind of numbers, those perfect squares. 1 is 1 squared, 9 is 3 squared, 25 is 5 squared, 49 is 7 squared, 81 is 9 squared. Based off of that, I can fill in my next 2 totals. Because I have 1 squared, 3 squared, 5 squared, 7 squared, 9 squared. I'm going up by my odd numbers. I'm going to need 11 squared, which is 121. Now that I know my total, I can subtract out the colors I do know to find the one that I don't know. And I know that the next one is going to be that same number. I can do the same thing, finding my total number, following that pattern, subtracting out what I know to be what I don't know. So once I have this all filled in, I can go back and say, okay, what's going to be the color of my outermost layer and how many will that be? So I know every time I see that number change, that's when that color comes on. So I had a yellow here, and then the yellow numbers change. That means it's the outermost layer. So I want to find figure 7. Where does that number change? I see that number changes right here. We're going to have a number change, so I know it's going to be blue. I need to figure out how many blue are just on the outside. So I'd have my total number of blues here. I need to take away those 16 blues that are in the middle. So you need to, down here for your answer, tell me the color and how many there are going to be. Our next page, finding our area. We know the area of the rectangle equals length times width. Length times width. You put that answer right here. Tell me what you're multiplying together. Area of the shaded we can see is a triangle. The formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 of the base times the height. Our base is the bottom of the triangle. The height goes from the base all the way to the point. So that is our height. So from the base to the point. Put those numbers in and you find 1/2 of it. And that is how you find that area. Our next page. Remember to find those volumes. If we know our volume is 216, that equals length times width times height. Fill in what we know. Our length is 8. We don't know the width, but the height is 3. If we are multiplying these, we want to move them over with opposite operations to the opposite side of the equal sign to see that we're left with our width. If you're going to do the cube, remember we are multiplying and all three of these numbers are going to be the same number. So I could try, what's 5 times 5 times 5? That gets me, let me see what that gets me. If I do 5 times 5 times 5, I get 125. That is way too small. I need to be up in the thousands. So you're going to guess and check bigger numbers. Right? Next page is our mean, median, and mode. This is our last page. We are working on this in our unit. So we need to use 5 numbers. So I've got 5 spots. I know I need a median of 16. So my middle number I know is going to be 16. I have a mode of 30. So if I put my middle as 16 and I'm putting them in order and I want the most numbers to be 30, think about how many 30s I'm going to have. Then our last one is the trickier one, a mean of 20. So we know that the mean is going to be 20. And to find that mean, we have our total. And our total is divided, sorry. We divide that total by our 5 numbers. So we have the total divided by 5 equals 20. We need to know what that total is because we need to be able to fill in the 2 numbers that we don't know. So we're going to do opposite operations to find that total. If we're dividing by 5, we need to multiply by 5. That's going to give us our total number if we added all of our numbers up. And that's going to give you an idea of what 2 numbers you can fill in. There is not just one right answer. There's quite a few correct answers. See if you can find one of them. If you still have questions, you can come ask me about it. But fill in your median, fill in your mode, figure out what our total amount is going to be, and see if you can figure out what those 2 numbers are. That is the end of packet number 10. Remember, it is due next week Tuesday. Get it to me by Friday and you'll be able to make corrections to it. Remember to come ask me if you have any continuing questions. Have a wonderful day.